My presentation is on the San Andreas Fault and its earthquakes. The topics of this presentation are as follows: the history of the San Andreas Fault, the formation of the fault and its earthquakes, what scientists believe will happen to the fault in the future, what will happen to California and the West Coast, one fun fact in our summary. The San Andreas Fault is an indent in the Earth's crust going from Northern California to the Cajun Pass. It was first identified in 1895 by Andrew Lawson. The fault is divided up into three different zones: northern, central, and southern. The northern zone goes from Hollister, California to Santa Cruz, leading underwater at Fort Ross. The central zone experiences what is known as a seismic creep, which causes the fault to slip but does not create any earthquakes. The southernmost zone forms the Big Bend, as it connects Southern California starting from Bombay Beach. Much before the fault was officially identified, it was known for having oceanic plates and Farallon plates, but disappeared underneath North America. The fault line is divided up into Pacific plates coming from the west coast and Northern American plates from the east, moving towards one another in Western California, creating the fault line and its earthquakes. The formation of the fault is determined by tectonic plates, basin, and range. Plate tectonics is the movement of plates that can affect their overall formation, collision, subduction, and slide past. In reference to the fault, however, both northern and Pacific plates move up to 4 to 6 centimeters per year in geological time. As for basin and range, it covers a large portion of the southwest United States and western Mexico. The fault line was able to open the Gulf of Mexico while creating a 90-degree rotation of the transverse ranges in Southern California. On April 18, 1906, at 5:12 a.m., a 7.9 magnitude earthquake was felt in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Cocos Bay, Oregon, and San Jose. Due to the high magnitude of the earthquake, there were fires near Montgomery Street and destroyed more than 28,000 buildings and had a damage cost of $350 million. On January 17, 1994, in Northridge, California, a 6.7 magnitude earthquake occurred with more than 70 deaths. The damages costed up to $20 billion, with economic losses costing $40 billion. On this next slide shows a graph of California earthquakes from the years 2000 to 2022. The first recorded earthquake was in the year 1812. As shown here, a 6.9 magnitude earthquake occurred on April 4th, 2010 in Baja, California. In the near future, the Pacific and North American plates will move closer together, building up pressure causing a plate slip within the fault. It is also possible for a gas explosion within the fault, as it appears to have more than 39 gas and oil pipelines going through it. With this, the gases in the air from the explosion can cause possible fires and climate change within the areas of California. As the Pacific and North American plates move closer to each other, there will be a time where Los Angeles and San Francisco will be adjacent to one another. Fortunately, for those who like to travel to California, such as myself, there will not be a time where California will be destroyed due to the fault, since there will be nowhere for the state to fall. As for the West Coast as a whole, there will be the possibility of bits and pieces of land slowly moving away from each other in the span of millions of years. There is a possibility of California moving in a possible direction, however. As the years go by, the possibility of having a higher magnitude earthquake in Western California is still fairly high. As the fault line continues to shift, the magnitude could be higher than the February 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Turkey and Syria. This could cause a higher death toll and a more severe, costly damage to its surrounding areas. One fun fact is a pop culture reference to the 2015 motion picture film San Andreas, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This movie follows a 9.1 magnitude earthquake hitting Los Angeles and San Francisco. Not soon after the 9.1 earthquake follows a aftershock of a 9.6 magnitude earthquake, becoming one of the largest recorded earthquakes in history. Not only that, but the earthquake causes signs of a tsunami and many structural damages to the West Coast in Los Angeles and San Francisco. If you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. In summary, the San Andreas Fault is one of the most prominent fault lines on the West Coast and known for its earthquakes being highly dangerous, costly, and high magnitude. Fortunately, for the state of California, it will not be affected, but there is always a possibility of a much stronger and dangerous earthquake in the near future. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation of the San Andreas Fault and its earthquakes.